Verse 10. Cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people.
You'll never guess who he passed the mic to.
Verse 10. Gather out the stones for the people.
So we're gathering out the
Verse 10. Cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people.
You'll never guess who he passed the mic to.
Verse 10. Gather out the stones for the people.
Hashem Yahweh Shai, it's the name of the Most High God and the Son. The world ignorantly knows it's Jesus Christ. The Hebrew Israelites who come out here week in, week out, prophesy the downfall, and pretty much call back our people to the nationality.
IOIC don't even want it, man. IOIC don't even want this kingdom to go. They want to build libraries, schools, IOIC schools with the what was it, little sanctuary and stuff like that. Why you build a sanctuary in a place that is about to be destroyed, man?
all that is made in the world at the beginning and the end, and the end is manifest.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rucha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you brethren, you other elders and brethren, you believers of this truth. That includes shalom to you brothers and sisters, the support the supporting cast of the truth, and shalom to the hopefully elect, shalom to the elect. So I want to do this video. I don't even know what I'm going to title it. You know, it's one of those videos that go one direction and shoots to another direction and another. It's just the spirit. So I saw Vocab put this video, little small clip in, showing the Wi-Fi Israelites with a white looking guy in the camp. It's 2024 and us at GMS, you know, still so far ahead, we couldn't understand why these people couldn't see that Israelites can look white. Well, now you're starting to see them follow after the footsteps of, you know, the great millstone Israelites through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. We understand that the elect is not going to get awakened by black people. We know that the ISBK thinks that way. We see the Wi-Fi, now we see Sakari, and then you don't really see people torch them about having white boys in the camp, so-called. So this is why I put the clip in the clip with GMS Holland, because they have a white-looking guy in the camp, right? And in that short clip that I put in there, you can clearly see the edification that was coming out in the clip. This is not just about cursing out white people, right? Stating your claim to for destruction on another people to degree. I mean, we do that, but just the fact about salvation, we do go into that. We just teach totally different than these other camps, and these other camps all joined together and had a fit with us because we had so-called white boys in the camp. But these other camps, it's titling Edomites get destroyed by the sword, Edomite this, Edomite that. It's all about Esau, right? To build the entertainment. Now they have a white guy in the camp. Now we'll see if they get more so-called white guys. Will you now have to start questioning everybody who rolls up that claim to be an Israelite? Or will you still just ask them who their father was and that's it? Right? We'll see. See, the Lord is slowly taking the entertainment out of this truth, man. That distraction. St. John 6:63, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Right? So when we see some white looking person come up, we actually had a couple come up and we believe they both were Jake. His father went back to the Irish, and no, not all Irish Jake, but his father went back to the Irish. He believed, he saw it and believed, right? His wife, she went back to the northern tribe, right? So he was more likely southern. You know, he could have been northern, and she was northern. And you could see she was northern, but she had kind of that white skin. So we have to try the spirit first. But this doesn't pan out for these other camps because they got to show the black and white distraction. That's what I'm going to call it, the black and white distraction. Right? So the audience can see. I was going to put the clip. There was a group that broke off from us called Branches Baltimore. And they had a white, they inducted a white boy, so-called white looking guy that was in the truth. And he was Sicilian, but he looked pure white. And all his followers kept saying, why y'all got a white boy in the camp? You know what they did? They wound up kicking him out. They found things wrong with him because he liked to play music. He just wasn't guided, right? And they wound up kicking him out. Who knows? He could have been an agent. But I'm just saying, he believed the truth. And when he got kicked out, he didn't have the fire to come back. And the Lord took them right out of the truth. Because they all do this for the entertainment. So it's going to be interesting when we see these so-called white-looking guys popping up. Are you going to be able to title it the same? Are people going to start waking up and noticing, well, wait a minute, we got to try the spirit? Or will these guys start following strictly after us? Right now that they got their fan base. And you know in their comment boards, they're saying, why you got a white guy in the camp? So we'll see. So anyway, I want to get this scripture. 1 Corinthians 10 and 21, right? Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers at the Lord's table and a table of devils. And this is what's happening with these groups. They're sitting down with Vocab alone. Everybody wants to sit down. And now we see it's not about truth anymore. It's all about reputation, some form of fame, and finance. That's what it's become. All of them is sold out the truth. We don't care about Vocab. That's his whole motto. If it wasn't for the Israelites, he would have no followers. He'll say the same thing every other Christian say. But he has a lot on the left-hand side. That's why he don't go after anybody else. He only comes after Hebrew Israelites because that's his portion on the left-hand side. So now that we see this and understand this, why would we continue to go back and forth with him and then go back and forth with him and then sit down and have functions together with him? And then when it's over, he'll put up clips calling Israelites frauds and saying all kind of manner of wickedness, man. Anyway, you can't drink at the cup of the Lord and a cup of drink from the cup of the Lord and a cup of demons. You cannot partake at the table of the Lord, right? And the table of devils. You can't serve two masters, right? So this is what I did. Of course, what we have to do, we have to look up a word and see what it means. It goes back to trapeza, right? It goes back to trapeza. Unless we see what it means, it just means a table for banquet. Money's changing a business. So you can't have business at the Lord. So all that money they making off those debates, they're totally going against the scriptures, right? Of 1 Corinthians 10:21, because it's a money changer situation. Right? So let's get more in the definition. In ancient Greek and Jewish culture, the table, see how it says ancient Greek and Jewish culture? This proves that culture, it went along with Greek, right? Meaning Israelites followed Greek culture. Israelites in ancient Greece, right? The table was a central element of daily life, symbolizing hospitality, fellowship, and community. Meals were significant social events, often involving extended family and guests. This is exactly why the average black family, and even some of them, some white families, but even the foreigners of Israelites, their main thing is when they have a problem or they want to get a connection, they always get these big family festivals, right? And break bread and throw the chicken and greens and, all that, what we call that, comfort food soul food, which is the worst. I don't know why they call it soul food, but and it tastes good. But then they'll put all that stuff on the table, and it's festive, where they get together and they have a good time, right? It says the table was also a place where important discussions, right, and decisions were made in the context of the early church. The table took on additional significance, and believers gathered for the Lord's Supper, commemorating Yahushua, right, Last Supper with his disciples. This also proves you can't have everybody coming to your Passover. That's wicked, right, or heathens. So when we go into this, these people are discussing, these people are doing business at these tables. And what they're doing is they're doing these business at these tables, and it's totally against the Lord. As I said before, how do you go and debate somebody that's not even an Israelite, as you claim? You don't believe he is. He's a heathen. Why would you debate somebody like that? That doesn't make sense. And then collect the coin on top of it. You know what I'm saying? That's sick, man. Romans 2, and let me go to 17. Behold, thou art called a Jew, and restest in the law, and maketh thy boast of God, and knowest his will, and approveth the things that are one more excellent, before instructed out of the law, and art confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness, an instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which has the form of knowledge and of the truth, right? In the law, it says, thou therefore which thou teachest another, teachest thou not thyself, with a question mark, that thou preachest a man should not steal, dost not thou steal, right? So we're going to get this in an NIV and see what that says there. It says, you then who teach others, do you teach yourself, right? Because I'm going to get the precept of this. I just wanted to bring this in this translation so it could be more understandable to some. It says, you who preach against stealing, do you steal? And it's going back to what Paul is going back to, this quoting out of Yahushua in Matthew 23, calling them hypocrites, which goes back to actors. You who say the people should not commit adultery, do you commit adultery? You who abhor idols, do you rob temples? You who boast in the law, do you dishonor God by breaking the law? Right? So at the end of the day, all these things, this is called a hypocrite. All these things these Israelites saying to do, right? You're saying that GMS got white boys in the camps. White boys are Edomites. White boys are going into captivity. These are the things that they're saying, right? And they always use GMS and Great Millstone, right? If they want some form of audience to get some attention, then they'll go to the rape thing. And then the foolish sheep will follow that and believe we're going around teaching to do something like that, knowing we'd be locked up. But this is what they do. They try to capitalize, as the scripture says, they use fiend words and make merchandise out of us, man. You know? So what they do is they capitalize and they say all these things, but then you'll see a white boy pop up in their camp. You know what I'm saying? If that's not a hypocrite, I can't tell you what is. This group Sakari got several white boys in it. Well, a couple that I've seen. There's Wi-Fi now. They're popping up with white boys in the camp. And I did a video on them years back and said that why aren't y'all, I left a message on their comment. And I said, why aren't y'all trying the spirit? How do y'all know that's an Edomite? Y'all just doing that for the title and the views. And they never answered. But the next video I saw, they started questioning, saying, well, he could be a Jake because some of the Israelites people look white. And then you know what happened when they said that? The audience didn't like it, and then they went back to black people. See, these guys, all they do is use GMS. They use our so-called culture and our belief to trash us, and then secretly they'll do like the Edomites, steal it and do it themselves. Kind of like how when people used to hack, and they was hacking for cars, and they would raise their hand in the street and somebody give them a ride. Then Esau come up with Uber, right? Everything we come up with, you got the squeegee kids squeegeeing the windows. Guess what? Esau gonna come up with something, paying people to tax and get money off of that. I can't tell you how many things that we started, and this man is always capitalized off it and then created something of their own, right? Our style, our flavor. Then they put it into the music, and then they twist the music. These are all hypocrites, man. They're all hypocrites. Let's go to Matthew 23 and 25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, goes to actor. For ye may clean the outside of the cup. You look beautiful on the outside with your spiffy garments, and of the platter. But within, they are full of extortion and excess. Kind of like a beautiful cup with somebody's face and picture on it. It's glistening and shining. But inside it's got all kinds of debris and garbage in there, man. And he also said that about they're like a white sepulchre where it's beautiful on the outside, but inside is full of dead men's bones. That, man, you tell me Yahushua wasn't super sharp to even think of something like that. You know? And he was the original cool rapper. Let me say that. I'm not going to say he was a rapper, but he was the original one to take those metaphors and bring them to light. Right? And this is what we see. And this is the reason why I'm doing this video. I'm looking at this and shaking my head. So now they got white boys in the camp. You know, which we believe this brother here that looks white, that's in their camp, he may very well be an Israelite. My argument, where they had the problem with us, well, how about all the so-called black men that dropped out? How do you know some of them black men wasn't Edomites? You can't look at somebody's skin color and determine their nationality. We can't keep just looking at the white skin. How do we know people with black skin ain't Edomites? But you would never say that. That goes to show you the carnal nature of Western culture and how dumbed down the people really are, man. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.